Hello, and welcome back to our Food for Thought program. Today, Lucia and I have a special guest, Leonardo Alessi, who is a dear friend and a colleague.
So, Leonardo, we know that you live in Pistoia, and that's a very special place to you. So, our program, our idea is to suggest places, areas not far from the city center of Florence, where once you are in town, you may go. How long it takes to move from Florence to Pistoia, and what's your what can we see in there?
Well, first of all, good morning, everyone. And Pistoia is not really far from Florence because by car, it would take about, let's say, 45 minutes, traffic permitting. But my word of advice would be to take a train because it would be way better. It takes more or less the same time, depending on how many stops it does on the way to here. But the good thing is that the train station in Pistoia is very close to the city itself. It's in the city, I have to say. So once you step off the train, you're basically in the heart of the city. And there are quite many things to see in Pistoia, Lucia, because I often say that the city is pretty often overlooked destination because we all know that it's very close to Florence, to Siena, to Pisa. And I have to say it's really a pity that a lot of people usually they don't consider coming to Pistoia because maybe they don't have that much time. But I would strongly suggest to find time to discover this little gem because there are quite many things to see. First of all, it does have a beautiful, beautiful medieval sort of layout. I'm speaking about the architecture. There are quite many beautiful buildings to see, starting with the cathedral that it's dedicated to San Jacopo e San Zeno, which is a beautiful Romanesque building. And I think we can see the facade right behind, in the back, right behind Cora. I can see that. And the square.
Moving there by train is also nice because many of these ancient cities are close to the traffic, and so Pistoia as well.
It is, right? It is. And it would be, it's a kind of easier to find a parking spot here in Pistoia, but still, as we said before, by train, that would be really the best way.
Is it to walk around?
And also to walk around because the town center itself, it's pretty compact, and it doesn't take that much to sort of stroll around. And that would be, of course, the best idea. Walking is always the best idea. And of course, when coming to Italy, to Tuscany, walking is always the best to appreciate and see, of course, our ancient cities. Yeah.
So sorry, I was just interrupting you. You were just describing the magnificent Romanesque facade of the cathedral dedicated to San Zeno and San Jacopo, where there is also a special day, Patron Day, in which there is a special occasion in which the statue on the top is dressed up and so on. But as you move around, you have this amazing facade with this portico, this kind of promenade that is taken out. And in front of the cathedral, there is another spectacular building that I think you may describe as an architecture lover, which is really absolutely unique.
Well, that's correct. Basically, it's opposite the facade of the church. It's the beautiful local baptistry. And as we can see in the picture right now, I think we can, it's a beautiful building and the decoration itself. First of all, to define the period of time, it's a Romanesque architecture. And the decoration outside.
It is basically a kind of rational architecture where there are two different kinds of marble that almost create this special sense of rhythm in the geometrical elements. Octagonal shape. Am I right?
Exactly, and you said the word. I often use the word rhythm because this is what I think we can see and appreciate, especially when we're speaking about Romanesque architecture, because nothing was done by chance. There's always a very specific pattern that was followed at the time by the architects, and we can see that it might look simple, but it is not. Well, it is, but it is not, because there's a very specific rhythm that creates, I would say, the perfection of the architecture, because it's really, you could stand as long as you would and could, just staring at the building and trying to take that in, because it's really, that was what we all know, is that, of course, art and architecture were ways to teach, to educate people. And of course, I mean, just looking at the architecture, we can also not only appreciate, as I said before, but also understand quite many things. The idea that was to create something that had to be perfect, had to recount a story, and had also to be a written page of the holy inscriptions as well.
Yeah, and then we may even immerse ourselves in that time, thinking how, maybe considering the special Saturday night before Easter, in which all the neophytes were just moving and, you know, entering inside, probably from the gate of the darkness, submerging in the water, and then looking for the door in front of the cathedral. So thinking about that, and when you get there, the space is not very far, one building to the other. The baptistry is in front of the cathedral, so we can really feel and just, you know, moving with our mind back to the medieval time to appreciate that. And once you are inside the baptistry, there is still the bath. So it is one of the places where you can still see exactly how it was, the ceiling, the beautiful space that really suggests.
I think it creates, you're right, I think it creates, once you step into the building, I think, even for people who do not know that much about art and architecture, I think, as you said, it creates a beautiful sense, a beautiful feeling, because you're being like really surrounded by this beautiful architecture, and which creates a kind of, if I might say so, that's my personal opinion, of course, but if I might say so, even a kind of a deeper sense of sort of calm happiness, as I like to.
I agree.
I like to define that, and it's something that I really strongly suggest when coming to Pistoia not to miss, because maybe you won't have the chance to step into the building, but just to stand outside and looking at it, you will really get what we have just said. I mean, this sense of perfection, the rhythm that it's outside, and the beautiful decoration, the different types, colors of marble that in the end create this unique pattern. And it's really one of the highlights of the city itself.
Well, fantastic. Well, Cora, please.
Well, yes, balance is definitely key. And I hope we sparked your interest with this little introduction on Pistoia, because if so, stay tuned, because tomorrow we'll be back with Leonardo with some more information about this beautiful gem.
Well, so thank you very much, Leonardo, to be with us today.
Thank you very much.
See you tomorrow.
See you tomorrow.
Bye. Bye-bye. Ciao.